welcome to week 8 of our True Woman 201 book study. This week we studied the topic of benevolence and kindness, and we started out reading about that movement of doing random acts of kindness for people and how the government actually created it a national declared an entire week in February as a National Random Acts of Kindness Week. And that was something new to me. I didn't even know there was a National Random Acts of Kindness Week in February, but now I do. On page 159, she writes, "For a believer, kindness is a fruit of the Spirit that is empowered, enabled, and directed by God. When our kindness extends beyond those who deserve or reciprocate our benevolence, when it reaches out to those whose shortcomings and failures we know full well, that is when we reflect the heart of Him who is kind to the ungrateful and the evil." And until I read this chapter, I didn't realize how much kindness is a reflection of God, and she develops that more fully in this chapter. As Christians, our kindness should be seen everywhere. It should be on social media. It should be on the internet. It should be with our family, our friends, to strangers. Our kindness should just come out of everywhere. And kindness is a powerful means of reflecting Christ. And we've all experienced kindness from others at some point or another in our lives. For me, I can think of ladies who, when I had shingles 5 years ago, they came to my house. They helped me clean and take care of my kids because I was so sick. They did not need to do that. That was out of their kindness of their heart, trying to help my burden while I recovered. And with all of my pregnancies and deliveries, I've had women make me meals and help provide food when things were really tough for me. Those were kind acts and kind deeds that they did for me. But looking back, what is the one great kindness that God did for all of us? And if you answered, He sent His Son to die on the cross, you are correct. That was a kindness of God to give us salvation so we do not get what we deserve. And what we deserve is judgment. Our kindness should reflect what God has done for us. On page 163 we read, "We cannot pay for our salvation. We cannot demand it. We cannot merit it by how good or how nice we are or by our own acts of kindness. No, God saves us because He is eternally and immeasurably kind, good, and merciful." And that is our example right there. That is what we need to strive to do, to be kind. In Zechariah 7:9, we are commanded, "Show kindness and mercy to one another." And in Colossians 3:12, it says, "Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience." In Romans 12:10, "Be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love, in honor giving preference to one another." And in 1 Peter 3:8, to sum up, "All of you be sympathetic, brotherly, kind-hearted, and humbled in spirit." We see right there in those four verses, we are commanded to be kind. And on page 165, she put in the book this chart here on kindness. And at the center of that, you had the kindness at the center, but then there's all these other little circles around that. Honoring. If you're kind, you're going to come out, you're going to be honoring. If you are kind, you will be gracious. If you are kind, you will be merciful. She has forgiving, gentle, tender-hearted, sympathetic, patient, and humble. Those are all outworkings of the center, which is kindness. Good, kind speech benefits and builds up and should be helpful to others. As mothers, how do we show this kindness? Do we show it by stomping around the house, having a bad day, being miserable, How about when we're impatient with our children or maybe complaining about our children? Is that how we show kindness? We need to demonstrate kindness from us in order to teach it to our children. And I know so many times I will remind my children that they need to be kind to one another. But then when I look back, I go, am I being kind to my children, or am I showing kindness to them so they have an example to follow? If we have a kind heart, it's not something that's going to be contained. It's going to come out, and it will overflow in all aspects of our lives. Working in our home is one of the toughest and most thankless jobs out there. But that doesn't give us license to have a miserable attitude about it. We need to ask God to give us a spirit of kindness and to embrace the work that He has given us. Our homes should reflect nothing but kindness. It should be apparent to everyone around us that our home is filled with kindness and with love. And it is a huge testimony of God's love. On page 166, she had the kindness report card. It took time for me to honestly review the questions on that kindness report card and to see how I hold up to God's standards, not to the standards of the people around me, but what God would have for me and how to be kind. And there was definitely some areas that I need to work on. This is not something that I have perfected, but something I continue to struggle with. It was a very challenging and convicting chapter. Leave a comment below and let me know how you found this chapter. If you're new to our videos, thank you for watching this. You are welcome to join our Facebook discussion group, and I will put the link for that in the description below. And I will see you next week for chapter 8. Have a great week.